Shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well, that teach well, where I learn this truth 100% according to the Bible. I also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, the prophets, the servants scattered abroad the four corners of the earth, and shalom to the Akwaf, which are the sisters that are sincere, and your children, shalom. And then today's video is going to be a video from the brother, the Hopeful Elect 3, just touching on the mindsets of the people here in America. And these people know that something bad is getting ready to happen, man. The average citizen that's not even in the truth knows that sooner or later, SHTF is about to hit the fan here in America, man. That is about to come very bad and serious detrimental times in this place. Everybody is knowing what's going on, man. It's not a secret anymore. Everybody is waking up to what, not everybody, I should say, but majority of the people, they know or got a feeling that something soon is about to take place in this place, America, that it's not about to be peace here very soon, man. And everybody's minds is on these things because they know that sooner or later that it's coming, right? So I'm going to get into this video. You got this Eve talking. And I'm going to get a few precepts, for the video. Lord's willing to be edifying to you brothers and sisters that come across it. So with that being said, I'm going to say fair use on the 1976 Copyright Act. I'm not getting paid for this video. This is only for educational purposes only.
Next 2 to 3 years is going to go into active conflict with itself. And I'm not trying to fearmonger. It's just eerily similar to what's happening right now. And the buildup of what happened in that movie that goes to this. And I'm not saying that like this movie is like predicting something, but
No, it really is predicting something, because we know ultimately, as the Lord has said in the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verse 2, and I'm gonna go to that precept real quick. And we just gonna move around in the spirit, right? And it says, and I, right, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. And the modern day Egyptians are these people here in America, Babylon the Great. You 2/3 with this heathenistic mindset and these other heathens that are in this place. You people are the modern day Egyptians, right? And the Lord said, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight, everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So sooner or later, that's what's about to happen in this place, America, and everybody can feel it. The average so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, or average so-called Edomite or other heathen person, they know that these things are soon about to take place in America. They know that all hell, as they know it, is about to break loose soon. They don't know the exact timing. That's why you got a lot of people, buying guns, buying bullets, storing up on food stockpiles and things of that nature, because they know sooner or later that stuff is about to hit the fan in this place, man. And the life as these people know it is about to change, and this is the thing that the men of the Lord, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, have been warning you people, man, for decades of what's to come, man. And the men of the Lord were scoffed. They were mocked at. They was laughed at for telling these prophecies before time, before people actually had the time or the vision to see it like they see it now. They were saying these things 30, 40 years ago, man, and people was laughing at them thinking it was a joke. But all of these things are going to come to pass, man. There are going to be race wars. There are going to be civil wars and uproars of the people and things of that nature, right? And I'm going to go to another precept just touching on that. I'm going to go to 2nd Ezra chapter 13. Right? Because all throughout the scriptures, it tells us about people rising up against one another. There being civil unrest, gender wars, class wars, all of these different types of things taking place. This is 2nd Ezra 13 and 31. It says, and one shall undertake to fight against another, right? One city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. That's talking about straight up anarchy, complete chaos, complete division, man. But that's what Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is bringing upon the earth, man. It tells us that in St. Matthew chapter 10, right? Verse 34. I'm going to get that. I love to bring that one out. It says, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword, right? And that sword is representing people being divided, being at variance with one another, and also chaos, destruction. That's what's ultimately coming to this place, America. And like I said, everybody can feel it. And these things will take place very soon, man. Like I said, we're living already in the beginning stages of it, but it's only going to continue to intensify ultimately, which is going to lead up into all of this destruction, right? So I got another precept right here, just touching in on, the nation against nation and the people rising up against one another, because that's what it says in the book of St. Matthew 24. And matter of fact, I'm going to get that precept, right? And I'm going to start at verse 7. It says, and this is in the NLT, it said, nation will go to war against nation, right? And kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in many parts of the world. But all this is only the first of the birth pains, with more to come, right? So we're already seeing all of these things occurring in the earth now as I'm speaking. You're seeing the kingdom rise up against kingdom. You're seeing the beginning of the race wars. You're seeing the earthquakes in diverse places. And the Lord said all of these are only the beginning of the evils that are to come, man. Right? So this is the time for, like I said, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians to, be turning back to your power, man. Because sooner or later, man, it's not going to be just oh, man, we think it's going to come. No, it's going to be right at your front door, man. And if you don't have Yahweh Bashim Yahushua with you, then you're going to be, pretty much, defenseless in these times, because we know that this is a spiritual warfare that we're in. You're not going to be able to rely on something carnal like a weapon or stockpiles of food and thinking that it is going to save you, man, because the Lord said we're coming into a time like never before. And I'm going to go to that precept. All right, bear with me. This is St. Matthew chapter 24. And I'm going to start at verse 21 in the KJV, and I'm going to read all the way to the verse 22. And it says, for then shall be great tribulation, right? The time of Jacob's trouble, man, which is coming soon. What it tells us about in Jeremiah 30:7, right? Alas, for that day is great, so there is none like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he should be saved out of it, right? Such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So guess what? Everything that you've seen happen throughout the earth through different time periods, whether it been 70 AD, whether it been World War I, World War II, the transatlantic slave trade, the days of Noah during the flood, the Lord said the times that we're coming into is going to be the worst of times like ever before, man. And it's going to be no time worse than this afterwards, because after this, we know that our Lord Yahweh Shah HaMashiach is going to return and restore the earth and rule it in righteousness with King David, the 12 and the elect. So this is going to be the last time that evil is going to ever be on the earth. That's why it's going to be so chaotic, man. Right? And this is verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened. Going into what I read in Jeremiah 30:7 about he shall be saved out of it. That he is talking about the elect of the nation of Israel, the 144,000 and the 1/3. They're going to be brought through the fire. They're going to make it through all of these race wars, these class wars, all of this chaos that's soon to come upon this place, Babylon the Great. Lord's will, we be of that hopeful number that we make it through this chaos, because we know it's coming. Right? As it tells us in Habakkuk 2:3, right? I'm going to go right there. It says, for the vision, meaning the prophecies, right, is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and will not tarry. And like I said, these prophecies are not tarrying anymore, because even the average citizen in America, and majority of these people don't know anything, but they know that something dangerous is coming, because these people can feel it, because that's the spirit that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has in the earth, man. Right? He doesn't have the spirit of peace in the earth. Like it tells you in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 8, there's a time for everything. And we're living in that time of where people are hating one another. We're living in a time of war. Matthew 24:12, the love of many is waxing cold because iniquity is abounding in the earth, sin. So, I mean, it's about to get crazy out here, man. And everybody knows it, So I'm going to get it back into this video so we can finish hearing what this woman is saying,
I'm just saying that, like, if it doesn't go the route of, like, Trump is removed from office in some way or another legally, he's probably going to try and go to stay president past term, which would then mean there is going to be, like, civilian-led militias. And also, because the American people...
Right. And what she's saying is 100% truth, right? And it tells us that in the book of 2nd Esdras, and I'm going to go to that, chapter 15, and I'm going to start at verse 14, right? And it says, woe to the world, and them that dwell therein. Woe meaning destruction, because that's what's soon about to hit this place, America, man. Destruction, bad times, evils and only evils, right? Verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, right? Nigh meaning something that's soon to come. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, right? That's going into those civil wars that she was talking about earlier. All of these things are biblical prophecy, and they're going to play exactly out the way that the Lord have set them to play out. These things will take place. That's why you're seeing the racial tensions rise in the earth. That's why you're seeing Esau Edom push on his news media. Only thing he's pushing is division amongst you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and you heathens, man. Because the Lord is the one that's ultimately stirring up the pot, man. It tells you that in Proverbs 21:1, that the king's heart, meaning his mind, is in the hands of the Lord. He turneth it whithersoever he will. So Donald Trump is not doing things that he wants to do. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is controlling the mind of Donald Trump, and he's making him intensify and heat up things just so we can come into this time of Jacob's trouble, man. This is all the Lord's movie, man. He's controlling everything, right? And I'm going to go to a precept just to further prove that, and I'm going to get back to second Esdras. But I'm going to just go to here in the spirit, right? This is Isaiah chapter 45. And I'm going to start at verse 5. It says, I am the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and there is none else. There is no God besides me, right? There's no Allah, there's no Buddha, there's no Santa Maria, there's no Jesus, there's no God. None of these things that you people call on, man, right? None of those things have power. It's Yahweh Yahushua, man. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me, right? Verse 6, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I am the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and there is none else. Verse 7, the point. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace, right? And create evil. That word evil goes into the Hebrew word rayam, which means bad times. I, the Lord, do all these things. So everything that we see occurring in the earth, man, the Lord is the one that's controlling it. He's orchestrating it. He's the puppeteer behind all of these events. He's the one that's stirring prophecy, Like I said, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, he's just a tool on the left-hand side being used by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, man, to bring forth the Lord's will. Nobody's in control but the Lord, man. Right? And this is verse 16, right? Going into what she was talking about in the video, how basically, there's going to be militias and people are going to be uprising against the government and things of that nature. All of this stuff is biblical prophecy. It says, for there should be sedition among men, right? And we're going to look at that word sedition real quick, just so we can get a better understanding, right? Because this is what's coming. You already got it starting on a small scale, but like I said, it's going to continue to increase, man. Right? And that word seditions mean conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or a monarch, right? So what does that sound like to you? That sounds like people revolting against the government, not listening to the things in which it is that their kings and princesses are telling them, man. They're going to do what they want to do. People is going to take matters into their own hands soon to come, right? That's what time we're coming into, right? And it says, and invading one another, because people are going to invade one another, man. It's going to be violence like never before coming upon this place, right? And it says, they shall not regard their kings nor princesses, right? That's talking about the modern day police departments. That's talking about your governments, your congressmen, all of these people that are allegedly in power right now, right? These people soon to come when all hell breaks loose and stuff really does increases and they start to see the evils and coming upon this place and people just bug out and lose it. Guess what? They're not going to be regarding the police or the government or Donald Trump or any of these people, man. It's going to be complete anarchy and chaos, man. Right? And it says, Salakia, and it says, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, right? And we know that when these people start revolting and going up against the government, and not listening to what it is DJT and these other Edomite people that are in power are wanting them to do. Like I said, all of this is being orchestrated by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. But ultimately, we know that Esau is the man on the left-hand side, that the Lord have given him the power to ultimately do these things, man, to take peace from the earth, as it tells us in Revelation 6. And I'm going to go to that and get back. We're just going to move around in the spirit. This is Revelation chapter 6. And I'm going to start verse 4 in the KJV. And it says, and there went out another horse that was red, representing Esau Edom, the so-called white man. And power was given to him, right, by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And that's what this man is doing, man. Through all of the laws he's passing, through all the unrighteous decrees, everything, the Lord has given this man the power, right, because the Lord is the one that's controlling him to take peace from the earth. and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword, man. So that's what's coming, man. You know, pieces being taken off of the earth, man. And the only people that can see it, like I said, are the men of the Lord, the prophets. But you got a few more people that can see it as well. You know, the Lord is opening up their eyes, you know, people to see the times it is that we're living in, but only the elect are going to have the truth. And the only ones that are going to be stable in these times that are to come when all hell hits the fan, like it tells you in Isaiah 33:6, man. How knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times. And the fear of the Lord is his treasure, man. Right? So I'm going back into where I left off at in Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 16. But I'm going to start at verse 17, right? And this is what's going to ultimately come when all civil unrest and chaos break loose in this place, America. This is what these devils want, because it's going to give them the power to implement in their draconian system, their unrighteous decrees that they already have set in place. You know, you already have Donald Trump with the Insurrection Act in place. And the reason they can only implement that law if there's unrest of the people or if America's at war. And we know America is not at war yet, at least. But we know that sooner or later, Jacob's trouble is about to pop off, that you're about to have uproars of the people in this place. And they know that. That's why they're setting everything in place. And that's what this verse goes into. It said, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And the reason why a man won't be able to move around freely in the city, because like I said, you're going to have so much chaos and pandemonium taking place in this place, America, that people are not going to be safe enough to walk around freely. It's going to be complete hell breaking loose out here in these streets. Then you're going to have martial law taking place, right? You're going to have that taking place where you're going to have the military in these streets. You know, they're going to be, you know, deleting people, forcing people off the streets. It's going to be complete and utter chaos, man, like I said. And if you don't have the Lord with you, man, you're not going to make it through it. You know, that's why we say, Lord's will, we be at that hopeful elect number, because only the elect are going to make it to the end, man. They're going to be the only ones that are going to endure, because the Lord have already predestined the elect to make it through these troublesome times, right? So I'm going to get back into this video. We can finish listening to this woman, you know. But these things are coming.
People are not all on the same page. Those militias are going to be separate entities from one another. There's not going to be one big militia of the people for the people that is going to be targeting against it. It's going to be multiple different groups of people that are going against the United States government in different ways. And I just know that it's coming down the pipeline. I just know that it's coming down the pipeline. And there's two things you can do as a person. You can get the fuck out of Dodge and use the resources that you have to get the fuck out of here. Or if you're a person like me who does not have all the resources and will likely not have the resources when all of this shit comes to a head, to hunker the fuck down where you're at. I've come to terms with the fact that, like, with how this goes, I might not make it past the next 10 years in this country. I might actually perish. And, like, that's just something that I've come to terms with myself, just with my current situation. And if that current situation doesn't change, I'm screwed. Okay? I'm screwed. However...
Well, it's not just her that's screwed, you know, and she could be a hopeful elect lady. I mean, we don't know. Only the Lord knows, but... You know, that's for anybody that's not of the elect, man. If you're not of the 144,000 and 1/3, you're not going to make it in these times that's coming, man. That goes for anybody. 2/3 of the nation of Israel, heathens. You people are not going to make it, man. Even myself, if I'm not of the Lord's elect, man, we're not going to make it, man. That's why we say, Lord's will, we be at that hopeful number, because we don't know. All right?
There is probably a lot of people like me in that boat. And there's things that can happen via, like, mutual aid or just, like, communications and everything to get ourselves out of the situation. But from what it looks like, this is about to, like, go into, like, legitimate civil war territory and, like, legitimate, like, active war. What I mean by that is, like, entire cities could be active war zones in the next 2 to 3 years.
Right. And she's absolutely right. That's what's coming, you know? And I'm going to go to a precept right here, because this is why the Lord is ultimately about to bring these terrible times to these people here in Babylon, the great America, you modern day Egyptians, right? This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 18. For because of their pride, right, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid, right? And that goes to what it says in 2nd Ezra 8 and 50, how many great miseries shall be done unto them that in the latter time should dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. So ultimately, this is going back into the pride and the arrogance of the people, man. right? This goes back into the wickedness that the people love to engage in, mainly you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, man. This is why the Lord is about to bring judgment upon the earth. This is why this place, America, is about to go through hell and turmoil and chaos and ultimately be destroyed because of the wickedness, man, the pride of you people, man. And we know that pride goes before destruction and the haughty spirit before a fall. And everybody in this country, America, the women, the men, the children, all of these people are just filled and engulfed with pride, man. And the Lord is tired of that. So he's about to ultimately judge this place severely, man. And that's what's coming, you know. And like I said, if you're not of the Lord's elect, it's going to be over for you, man. You don't even have a fighting chance in this thing because you're marked for death, man. If you're not of that elect number, right? So I'm going to read this. This is verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, right? Which means soon to come, man, people not going to be caring about each other. You already got talks of them talking about food shortages happening. You know, that there's going to be empty stores for a lot of these Walmarts and Targets and places like that in the next coming months due to these tariffs. And all of this stuff, like I said, is being designed and orchestrated, man, ultimately to make people to take that MOTB, man, that charagma, because that's what everything is leading up to, you know. But only people that are not going to take it, like I said, are going to be of the elect. They're going to trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua in these times because they're going to be stable from the wisdom and understanding of the scriptures, man, right? And it says, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, right? That's complete chaos, man. You know, that's people running in people's houses, ransacking, taking all of their goods and things of that nature due to there not being any food, man, and resources, man. You know, you're going to have power outages, blackouts. It's going to be complete hell, man. Like I said, a time like never before is coming, right? And it says, and spoil their goods, right? Spoil their goods. People are going to be ransacking people's houses, invading one another, right? And it says because of the lack of bread, right? No food, no water, no power, no nothing that you people take for granted now. All of that's coming to an end. And the only way you're going to be able to receive any of that again, like I said, you're going to have to take that RFID hit, right? And it says, and for great tribulation, right? That tribulation is talking about Jacob's trouble, man. And that's right around the corner. You know, so all you people out here that's playing and thinking this stuff is not going to come, man, hey, we're living in it, right? It's about to make itself known, man. It's about to be manifested, man. You know, and that word manifest means something that's revealed. And these times are about to reveal themselves very shortly, you know, soon, you know. So I'm going to get back into the video.
The most 5. I'm not even lying with like how genuine I feel that in my gut. Like I feel that like in my gut. Like it is a pit in my gut that has been growing ever since this man was elected. And really ever since I watched that movie, because it's like this really accurate. Like it just feels like this really realistic to like the point where it's like either it goes a different direction where we
right. And she said, is it realistic? Yes, it's very realistic because like I said before, these elites, these Rockefellers, these Rothschilds, these DuPonts, all of these people that are in power at the top, the elite Edomites, they know that all of these things are coming, man. They're the ones that's in control of Hollywood. They control all of these things. They control what gets pushed out and things of that nature, man. Right? Because the Lord tells us in Job 9:24 that the earth is given over to the hand of the wicked. Right? So these people ultimately know that there's going to be complete, utter chaos in America. That's why they're putting out all of these disastrous type, Civil War type style movies. For the last 2-3 years, they've been pushing them out heavy because they're preparing the people through their predictive programming of what's to come, man. It tells you that in 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. His devices goes into his tricks, his schemes. He's preparing you people through Hollywood, which is his media, his witchcraft, telling you what's to come, man, on the left-hand side. That's what these witches and warlocks do, man. You know? But yeah, you know, all of these things are getting ready to come soon, brothers and sisters. So, you know, Lord's willing, this video been edifying. You know, to the next time, I'm going to say shalom.